You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is Time goes in, time goes out. Never miscommunication.
It's over 9,000! My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll. Don't face me, bro. It's a trap. I'm a firing believer. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd to Know Basis Show, airing on Phoenix 92.5 FM and all those wonderful places on the internet. Thanks for counting me in there, Dara. Really appreciated it. I am Cian, and with me this week is...
Oh, hi, it's me. Hey! I haven't done this in a while.
And just setting up the timer, it's Kev.
I'm just not saying his name is Dara.
Oh, it's Dara. Hey, sorry. Sorry, I'm scrolling through Facebook here and I'm distracted.
Yes, but you don't hit the record button if you're distracted. You never hit any button if you're distracted.
I didn't think...
Don't you work in tech?
Hold on a second, hold on. I usually use Skype for everything and it gives me like a good, 30 seconds before it starts timing. Zoom is its own godless environment, so I don't take responsibility.
The future is now.
The
Well, it's five
And by now, we mean now, we're recording now. The show has started.
The show has started.
The show has started and Dara's on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
No, hold on. No,
But here we
Facebook
are.
Marketplace is its own winter wonderland. I'm just scrolling through the ads that it's given me.
In fairness, I got a really good pushchair off Facebook Marketplace, so
Yeah, so in the band we were trying to buy like one of those real doll babies, and okay, there's a reason.
No, you don't need to elaborate. No, you don't. You don't.
Basically, we're trying
that's
to do
between you and Jesus.
No, we're trying to do a music video, and it's a lot easier to have a doll that looks real than pay for an actor, that's a baby, or using like a bad doll for the video. So. Yeah,
you're talking to a parent and an uncle.
So I'm saying to you, this is why I hope you'll understand the reason for it. But obviously, I'm not going to go and message random people on the Facebook Marketplace, but our bassist is, and a lot of the questions that he gets asked are very.
I mean, I'm sure if you go through Facebook Marketplace enough, you will find just an actual baby.
But then you have to get rid of the baby. You can't use it for the video for like a day and then be like, right, I gotta go. Thanks. Here's your money.
That's No, there's. This is your home now, and I hope you enjoy the start.
you signed up to an 18-year commitment at least.
Well, this is as wonderful a segue as ever to talk about the Flash.
Oh, speaking of which,
zing, zoom. We're into current topics.
Yes, before we get into it is actually quite a busy week, this episode. There's weeks of nothing, and then all of a sudden, Marvel, DC, and everyone, Star Trek, and everyone drop all their stuff at once.
Oh, there was a Nintendo Direct today as well. So,
I got an email. Things were said.
Things were said. I won't promise what we're talking about, because knowing us, it could take us like 40 minutes to get through the introduction to the Flash or something. So let's just take a nice steady pace.
Here, you have to play RoboCop versus Terminator, and I mean
what I mean.
I don't mean that for you two. I mean like anyone listening. If they're like, "Oh, I'm driving my car, I'm going through Blanchardstown, blah blah blah," listen, stop what you're doing and go play RoboCop versus Terminator for the Sega Mega Drive Genesis.
Stop your car in the middle.
Literally, just stop, sit down.
You're on the M3. You're going 120. The hard shoulder is right there.
On your way to pick up a doll of some kind.
Obviously, pull over, and be like, listen, I'm going to be here for about an hour. I'm just going to play this game and have a good time. Because it came to my attention that neither Keen nor Kev have not only not seen RoboCop, but they haven't played this game either. It is one of the best, most violent games you've ever seen. And I played it a lot as a child, which probably not good, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you're a fan of the Terminator series or RoboCop, you play as RoboCop, going through different parts of the Terminator franchise and the RoboCop franchise, just gunning down robots, and it's so violent and bloody, and it's amazing. It's one of the best games on either system. It's also on the SNES as well, but the SNES is less violent than the Genesis, and the music is banging too. So I would say,
is it like a story-driven game, or is it like an arena combat?
No.
They say it's arcadey as hell.
Yeah. No, basically, there is a story, but the story doesn't matter. You play as RoboCop gunning down waves of gangland.
But you know what I mean? There isn't like a Terminator version you can play where you're up against the RoboCop. Like I remember like Spyro versus Crash Bandicoot back in the day, like that kind of thing.
No, because you're basically against Cyberdyne. So
okay.
So the Terminators you're against are waves and waves and waves of Terminators.
Okay.
But like the gameplay is super fun. The collection of weapons are great. It's a really satisfying blood splatter where it goes blip, and it's like just a really, or when you like immolate someone, it makes a really funny, really satisfying sound. And it's like, this is brilliant. So the whole game is just wonderful.
And great. Get a load of them graphics.
And where can you find
Hold on
this?
a second. Kev, the graphics don't mean anything. I look, honestly, I don't care about graphics. I really don't. It's the gameplay. And that's the thing about why I hate modern games. Because they're like, look at this graphics. And you're like, okay, yeah, but the game is dog doo-doo. Give me this over any game that's been released in the past 3 years. Any game at all. Because they're all terrible.
I just love the notion that, like, Dara, you have like this big high-powered PC to play this like Game Boy Color game.
It's not Game Boy Color,
90s.
It's Sega Mega Drive.
There's like a tiny square on this big, massive plasma screen.
And tell me, Dara, how many of God's good given megabytes do you actually need to run?
But do you know what? Do you know what's wonderful though? I can play it on my phone. You know what? I can't listen. I finished Cyberpunk recently. It took me 3 years and took 3 years, well, 2 to 3 years of my life and I went through 2 PCs, 2 PlayStation 4s, and a PlayStation 5 to get.
I remember you covered Cyberpunk the first episode I did, which was the anniversary of that came and went from 4 years ago. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, and I'm so disappointed in that trash game with a horrible thing, and that had amazing graphics. And you know what I wasn't disappointed by? RoboCop versus Terminator.
Well, you'd already played it.
Exactly. And I'm still, and if I pick it up now, I'll have a wonderful time. If I pick up Cyberpunk again, I'll want to put my fist through a microwave.
So I take it that the moral of the story here is don't try new things.
No, hold on. The moral of the story here is appreciate classic things. Try new things, absolutely. But the gaming landscape needs to move away from shiny graphics good and needs to go back to gameplay is more important. Which, you know, sorry, old
no,
man.
Speaking of classic things from our childhood and things that look like video game graphics.
Yeah, things that look like old video games.
Listen,
those are the 2 things I've heard about it.
Okay. So for reference, folks, neither one of these fine gentlemen have seen the movie. They are criticizing the thing they have not seen.
I am not criticizing.
Yeah. No, a show. Oh yeah, of course. We're not a show known for criticizing things we haven't seen.
You know what, Dara, I will give you that. I gave you a lot of flack over Andor, so I will completely eat my words and say I haven't seen it. I'm only reporting based on what the students I teach have told me. So
yeah, and see, you got a bunch of Zoomers giving opinions on things, and as we know, no disrespect to Zoomers, but that it's not a valid opinion. And the reason why is and the only reason why is it's because why this movie works or doesn't work. It's all nostalgia. So how can a Zoomer have nostalgia for something that was before when their parents were kids? Doesn't make any sense.
So,
anyway.
So when you say nostalgia, I mean, obviously I know you've got to tiptoe around spoilers, but like,
no,
like,
so we look.
What do you mean in general?
Look, we will just go into spoilers because it really doesn't matter. The movie is a complete train wreck. It really is. It's an absolute mess.
Let's get some mixed messages here.
No. Listen. It's a train wreck of a movie, right? It really is. The graphics, the some of it looks bad, but look, it's not like Black Panther where it was terrible, but everybody thought it was good for some reason. When it was terrible, you're like, yeah, look, it was really bad. There was only one point where it was really, really bad. The PS2 graphics you're talking about, or PS3 graphics, that was in the Speed Force, and it's like you're supposed to be in Flash's POV. So I mean, he's seen the world slow down, looking weird. So I mean, obviously, it makes sense. But when they recreate bits from Man of Steel, you're like, oh, yeah, that looks really bad, all right. And that's fair.
Man of Steel looked a bit spongy already, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's kind of that, but without Snyder's. Like, the one thing about Zack Snyder is he's a very visual guy, and his visuals are incredible.
He makes a movie look good.
Yeah, and he was not in this, so they didn't benefit from that. So the bits of it did look weird, but overall, obviously Ezra Miller's Ezra Miller, right? And there's two of them, so that is difficult. However, they're very good in this.
Both of the Ezra Millers.
Yeah, they're very good in it. I mean, I stopped thinking about it as Ezra Miller because I'm like, I won't be able to enjoy this otherwise. And I'm like, okay, is Barry Allen? Yeah, grand. But where this hooked me, like, I always liked the Flashpoint thing, and I like the multiverse schlock. So I mean, it's weird. There's very few people who will enjoy this, and I get that, and it totally makes sense. I'm a comic book nerd who likes the multiverse, who really likes Batman.
Right.
This had everything I wanted in a movie. There were seven Batmans.
Okay.
That's too many. I'm gonna.
It's not even enough.
Do you think they looked at like Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, and went, well, they managed 6 Spider-Men here. Just push it one more.
See, it's a funny thing you mention it, because we talked about Into the Spider-Verse the other day, or Edge of Spider-Verse, or whatever that movie was called. I don't really care. And that movie made me physically ill afterwards, even though it was beautiful and it had some really good spots in it. But Miles drives me up the wall. The punk one drives me up the wall too. Ha, that's a funny pun. Could get it because they're spider people up the wall.
Har.
I didn't even make it. But Ezra Miller didn't annoy me at all, which is funny because it's like everyone's saying, "Oh, he's so annoying." I'm like, he's not though. He's fine. Like in real,
when they say he's annoying,
like the
do you
Flash,
think you're talking about his characterization?
Yeah.
Sorry, no,
I don't mean Ezra Miller the person. I mean Barry Allen. Sorry, I'm using him interchangeably. Yeah. Barry Allen as a person, as the Flash, I don't find him annoying. Ezra Miller as the person, that's a whole other thing that we're not getting into.
Right? Annoying isn't the pin.
There's videos you can watch. There's like deep dives about them. That's a whole other thing.
There's cable news you can watch about.
Yeah, there's no shortage of content. We're not going to add to that fire today.
When I say the term Ezra Miller, I mean the Flash.
You mean the Flash?
I mean the Flash. Yeah. I mean Barry Allen.
Barry Allen. Yeah.
Okay. So that characterization of Barry Allen was very good. I empathized with him a great deal. It's all about his mom. It there is like a heart to it, right? But at the same time, it's also like this big. It's so corporate and like. It's really weird. It's like Into the Spider-Verse, but for all the wrong reasons. But then it redeems itself in these big emotional beats. At no point did I feel anything for Miles other than pure annoyance.
I don't understand.
No, that's fair. Hold on. Pure annoyance. I'm like, oh, I really just cannot stand you. And it's funny. It's because I think it comes back to the comic book thing, because anyone who's a big comic book fan has the same reaction to it, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe it is just whoever made these movies and use these characters would make them in the way I would use them. And it's like, damn, that makes a lot of sense. Because when you're watching the new Flash movie, okay, it's not great. It's a Flash movie. Flash is Flash, right? But then they wheel out Michael Keaton, and he's the best Batman ever. And this is amazing. And it just hits all these notes where you're like, I didn't even know I needed this, but I really did. And so I walked out incredibly satisfied. But the movie's a schlocky, terrible mess. And if you don't,
You're explaining yourself really well. I can't tell if you enjoyed the movie or not.
oh, I loved it. I loved it. It was everything I ever wanted, right? But I totally understand why. And that's why I'm saying going back to the Zoomers, it's like there's no way you can appreciate this because you did not. My first early experience in the cinema was watching Batman Returns as a 4-year-old. I remember that. And I was right back there. I was like, oh my God, it's incredible, right? So I loved it. It was everything I ever wanted from a movie. I want a Michael Keaton Batman movie, though, like another one. Like, I really do. But it just kind of it gave him a nice end. It brought the characters forward. It was really kind of cool. It was a nice it's the most unique multiverse thing I've ever seen done, because it was like, right, it's not like everything works out here. This is Barry Allen being like, oh, okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Is there not like a sense of fatigue because it's not even the only multiverse film out this month?
No,
you know what I mean?
Because it's more realistic in the sense of they don't win. It's not like, oh, isn't it a great thing? We're going to go off and have this run. It's like, no, they lose over and over and over and over and over again. And Barry Allen has to make a choice to fix things.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, that's actually really good. And at the same time, it's like, it gives a good arc to Kara, who, you know, Supergirl is very hard to do, just like Superman, but I thought she was really good in this. And I don't know, it just hit on all those points. And again, I totally get what people like. One of my favorite YouTubers, It's a Gundam, just dropped a Flash video right now, and he's probably going to rail it for all the reasons I've just said. So I totally get it. I mean, look, if you hated it, totally understand it. If Ezra Miller's a problem, like the person, I'm like, oh yeah, trust me, I had to just not think of them as a person and just think of them as Barry Allen, and that's how I got through that. But the minute Michael Keaton showed up, that was it. And you know what? I probably would have.
Jangling Michael Keaton in front of you like a set of keys.
Oh yeah, man, that's all that was. I mean, like, if Into the Spider-Verse wants to improve things, replace Miles with Batman 89, and then there you go. I'll be right there.
I will never understand your Miles hatred personally.
I'm not the only one. It's everyone who reads the comics again. And look, if you're listening to this going, oh, I'm a massive comic fan, I've read all his issues, I love him, I think he's great, please come on the show. I've never met that person. That person does not exist.
I like him. I've read his comics.
Have you? Yeah, but you're not a comic book person. You know, you're not sitting there going,
"Oh, I see." That's the
comic book.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you're not a
person who's read comics. You're a comic book person.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, Kean. This gate is being kept here. You can't come in.
No, hold on. No. That's not what I mean. I don't mean it from a gatekeeper perspective. I mean,
I know. It's just the funny thing is, I completely understood what you meant.
Yeah, no,
my brain short circuited a little bit.
Yeah, no, like it's that weird dynamic. But those same people love the multiverse, so they're the ones that love.
You can be a person who plays video games, and you can be a gamer. I get it.
Yeah. You can. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about. And anyone who like, it's like the whole Miss Marvel thing. When that show came out, I was like, okay, that run was really bad. I want to see how the show works out, you know, and it's kind of like, it took me a long time, even with the comic book movies and even with Flashpoint, to be like, okay, they're not remaking Flashpoint, they're doing something different. But when you lean too much into the comics, which Across the Spider-Verse does, that's the problem.
But that's what I was going to ask about the Flash, though. Is it not leaning too far into nostalgia, though? Like, rather than being a thing?
Oh, no, absolutely. But the thing about it is, it's like, this is an end. This is the end of that entire universe. And what it does
really? That I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, but here's the interesting part that I really liked, and, you know, it might actually save it.
Right.
It confirms something that we've taught for a long time, right? That all these universes exist. So in Marvel, right, there was, and even in Marvel Comics, there was one continuity, and that was it, right? And they would have other things going on, but there wouldn't be a multiverse per se, right?
Right.
In DC, they really liked the multiverse, loved it, and you know, and there would be different things happening at the same time, and eventually you'd go into Crisis on Infinite Earths. I love Crisis on Infinite Earths; it's my favorite thing. I have every one of the comics; I have them all graded, but I love that, right? I'm all about that. It's my favorite comic arc ever. You guys know this. And this really felt like Crisis on Infinite Earths a lot more than the TV show, which was
well, DC's continuity is a lot more like, say, The Simpsons, where there's status quo and it always kind of resets to it. It's not like Marvel; it's always growing and changing. Like
exactly, and that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they had to do here. And we were always like, for me, and even on this show, we were like, how are they going to square this circle where they have a joke? They have the Joker, right? From the movie.
There's at least 3 Jokers at this point.
Yeah, but the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Like, how does he exist in a world where Michael Keaton's Batman, and how does he exist with Ben Affleck's Batman who can punch through walls? He doesn't, right? They all exist in different universes, but they're happening around the same time. And we actually got confirmation for the first time ever that that's exactly what's happening. So it really doesn't matter what DC do now because they can always jump back around. And
you feel very vindicated.
Oh yeah, that's why I like it so much because I'm like, this is exactly what I thought they were doing.
And did the words Dara was right pop on in big red letters?
Well, all I'm saying is, DC, if you want me to come over, I'll happily do it. But
and this is all to say they can do that until they decide to scorch earth it and decide to make a run of New 52 movies.
But hold on a second, Kev. Right? Even in the New 52, that's come back with conversions. The thing about DC is you never actually scorch earth; it always comes back. So it always exists in its own timeline. Marvel has done a pretty good job now of mapping out their multiverse, but their multiverse doesn't work the same way as DC's one. DC's changes kind of everything, while Marvel changes one or two things.
Marvel, thanks to the Loki show, has a very established. There's one timeline,
one sacred timeline,
and everything. Even when you branch off, like they're just little cul-de-sacs. We've got a main one,
Yeah, but what the DC one is, the whole thing is completely changed. Like they do a really cool thing where they're like Back to the Future, and he's like, no, Michael J. Fox was Marty McFly. Goes, no, he wasn't. They change little things. The entire timeline changes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's weird because in a competent director's hand, like if Lord Miller had directed this, it probably would have been better. If Zack Snyder had have directed it, it probably would have looked better, maybe not flowed better. If James Gunn even had have done it from the get-go, it would have kind of set better. It's a movie that has everything working against it, rightly so, but to dismiss it as bad misses the point, and to dismiss it as member berries also misses the point, because this is the most definitive ending to something I've ever seen in comic books, and I mean that's incredible. So yeah, again, if you guys hate it, I totally get it. If you guys can't watch it because Ezra Miller is Ezra Miller, totally get it. But I mean, if you like the Cross the Spider-Verse, that's the one I couldn't remember the name of. And you prefer that more, I get why, but I mean this thing it's something special. That's my praise for it over.
Okay, all right, you've made me intrigued. I definitely.
It is a bad movie though. It's real bad, but I mean,
but I want to know.
Yeah,
so it's bad in a fascinating sort of way.
I mean, like what they did is actually incredible, and stuff like that. It's like they had it's a Lego box, right? Where they have a cool Lego set in there, but it's not a very big Lego set. And then he just picked up a box of Lego and threw loads of random stuff into it. And there you go. So there's still a good set in there, but you kind of have to put up with all the nonsense.
You know what? That's the most sense I think you've made.
In general, or
at least, regarding Slash.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
So we were talking Marvel a second ago, and I think now is as good a time as any to talk about Marvel, less on the scale of a multiverse, and more kind of just what's going on planetarily there.
Yeah, well, you and I, Kev, both watched The Secret Invasion before we recorded this. Have you seen it yet, Dara? Oh, you just disappeared into the multiverse.
Hold on. No, I was kicking people up until an hour ago, so.
What?
In Taekwondo, I was kicking people.
Okay.
So, no, I haven't got a chance to.
Just walking up and down Grafton Street, just...
Kicking children. That's what you do.
No. I teach the children how to kick. I don't kick the children. Unless they deserve it. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, I am quite a big fan of this story arc. It's nice to see Marvel kind of focus. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what then. At the time of recording, it's been out about like 3 hours. It'll been out 4 days by the time it's episode. But we'll keep it relatively spoiler free for the sake of like Dara and people who may not have seen it yet.
Yeah.
Kev, do you want to give us, because you're quite good at this, do you want to give us a rundown on just the basic premise of
Yeah,
the first
it's about
episode
the
of the series?
basic premise of the show. They've been kind of building up to it in bits and pieces of other in like second endings of like other Marvel stuff on the kind of the run up to this. The Skrulls are an alien species that can shapeshift and take the form of human people. And it turns out that they have been living amongst us on Earth for decades now. All under the protection of Shield, Sword, Saber, whoever's in charge of that now, and Nick Fury, who is trying to help them find a new home planet. But the kind of the run of the conflict of this show is that a handful of younger Skrulls who have only known Earth have decided they want to take Earth for themselves, not trusting in humans who have been waiting for decades to try to find them this home planet. So it's this very clandestine espionage story of trying to root out an insurrection when the enemy can clone and look like you.
Yeah, and like, I mean, just to kind of, I'm because you mentioned continuity, they have been kind of building this up. Obviously, Captain Marvel is the big flag in the ground because you've got all the Skrulls popped up there. The Skrulls were grounded here in the 90s. Like, they all have this big history. Ben Mendelsohn's back from that. Other characters are back from that, which you won't give away. But yeah, you absolutely hit the nail on the head there, Kev, which is that, like, it's sort of like they've been sort of a secret, like, refugee population among us. And due to just the Marvel universe being, by the standards of living there, upside down and on fire for the past 2 decades or so, no one's really kind of managed to find time to go to space to find somewhere to live. And like, you now have this sort of delicate political situation where you've got Skrulls who just want to live in peace. You've got Skrulls who want to kick things off and take the planet because critically, they are radiation proof. Might be a bit of an asset if they were to take the planet somehow. And you've also got the likes of, we get little glimpses of like the American government and the MI6 getting involved. So it is
Secret Invasion, isn't it? It's not Secret Wars. Okay, so that's
Secret Invasion. I think it's Secret Invasion leading up to Secret
Wars is going to be an Avengers film.
Okay, because they're completely different things. Sorry, I had to get them out.
I've mixed it up. A few people mixed it up as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're basically it's got a I'm not sure what way you took it, Kev, but I got a big like John le Carre vibes off it. Like lots of people in rooms talking. No one quite having the full picture, everyone kind of having a foot in two camps, which was very refreshing because a lot of the Disney Plus Marvel offerings have been kind of just Marvel films split up into bits, your Moon Knight, your Miss Marvels, your that kind of stuff. So it was good to get a plot that lent itself to a ongoing series.
I have a question.
I
have a question, if that's okay. Is there any British museum in this?
Not yet. It is.
Will there be?
It is mostly taking place in Moscow.
Okay, that's all right then. That's okay.
Now that's like I enjoyed the first episode.
Wait, why Moscow? Why Moscow?
They're playing on a lot of tensions of American and Russian politics.
Yeah,
modern.
The underlying kind of, they haven't said it, but they're gesturing at the notion that if they can get Russia and America to go to war with their weapons, as I kind of alluded to a minute ago, that will be quite handy for a radiation-proof species. You know,
that makes sense.
It also helps that the Skrulls, the insurrection Skrulls, are hiding in defunct nuclear power plants, of which Russia and their surroundings are scattered and littered with.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because they're radiation-proof, so they can't actually be killed that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I think it is like it's got a good setup. It's got a lot of intrigue. And I think the one thing that I really enjoy, like, because it is primarily like a Nick Fury focus as the kind of the lead. So I don't see how this show can end in a beam struggle. So I like the kind of human. I will stand corrected in 8 weeks, if so. But
Nick Fury's gonna fire a beam out of his eye from under his eye patch.
And Kev's just gonna pick up the laptop and throw it out the window. God damn it!
But so like that. So I like the fact that it's a very human angle. I like it would have to be a real like butt pull to like make this a super story. But at the same time, we know that I think the end of this year we're getting the Marvels.
Yes,
which I think is going to be a very Skrull heavy story.
Well,
so I'm
you're
wondering how
one
much
from the WandaVision, the other one of the many
Monica Rambeau,
Marvels. Yeah, she was taken up to Saber, so
that's
like,
it. Yeah, no,
they're
Rambeau
setting up the connective tissue there. Like,
Rambeau and Carol Danvers are very involved in the Skrulls, and then Kamala Khan's just going to get roped into that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I am purposely going to drink myself to not remember that.
I don't.
You could just not go.
You could just not watch it.
No, I won't. No, but I've seen.
No,
but I've seen the trailer, and I need to like forget that trailer exists.
I think it looks fine.
No, it's so bad. Oh god.
Well, look. There's a trailer I want to get to that is equally bad. We will get.
Hold on a second. No, how dare you, sir? That trailer looks amazing.
We'll get to it. But I want to. I want to stick with Secret Invasion for a minute.
So what I'm kind of getting at is like I'm wondering, is this going to be a lot of season of setup, or is it actually going to have a story?
No, please don't say that, because that's
Secret Wars is so far down the line that I don't see how they couldn't resolve this in some way.
Here, actually, question. Do you think we're going to get, and like a serious question, like not a joke. Do you think we will get the black suit before or after Battle World and Secret Wars?
Oh, you talking the Spider-Man? Goon?
Yeah, because we're probably going to get it really soon.
I don't think we're going to get Spider-Man anymore.
No, Battle World he has to. That's the whole. He's like.
Oh, they haven't announced Battle World.
That's what Secret Wars is, though.
Again, we're talking Secret Invasion. Secret Wars is still like 6 years out.
I see what you mean.
We can still speculate.
Unless they ported Venom into the world with all the rest of them, I don't see that.
Well.
They have.
The symbiote's still in the world now.
They did briefly, but I mean that whole roster of characters and all that.
Yeah, but there is still a symbiote. So what I'm thinking here is if they are moving towards a more kind of space thing, particularly with the Skrulls, the symbiotes could happen.
They did set up that Carol Danvers and Spider-Man in the Avengers Endgame had a bit of a repartee to them, so you could be onto something there. But like, I want to actually, because I know you know your comic stuff. I noticed something. Olivia Colman's character, who we only see briefly. So two little Easter eggs I noticed about that. One is that she refers to working in the circus, which is a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy reference, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
The other one is her surname is Fallsworth. Do you know who that is?
Tell me.
Fallsworth was one of the World War II heroes. I think it was Spitfire. So she was with Union Jack and Captain America and all those types.
Oh, that's
so obviously it's not the same character because, like, you know, like she wouldn't have been alive during World War II. But that is in the comics. That is something that is passed down daughter to daughter. So they are kind of building in a bit of history, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I'm expecting Olivia Colman to solve this season with a laser beam.
She was more of a machine gun wielding one, but yeah, I'd say so.
You can have lasers in a machine gun.
If it's Olivia Colman,
which one?
I wouldn't be mad.
Laser? Oh my goodness! But Kev, you remain optimistic.
Olivia
so far.
Colman.
We have to tell you who she is.
Hold on, who is she?
Like Peep Show, the Queen Victoria won an Oscar. Like, you know,
I don't know these things.
The lady cop in Hot Fuzz.
Oh yes, I know who she is now. I know who she is.
She's fantastic. Broadchurch, loads of things.
The stepmom in Fleabag.
Hold on. Oh, I know her face.
Yeah.
I know her face.
But yeah, while we're on the topic of Secret Invasion, there is there is also a news story kicking around about it.
Okay,
because they have basically come out and said that the intro title sequence has been made bought fully out of AI generated art.
Yeah, when you say the intro, do you mean the Marvel logo or the
the
3
title
minute
sequence? Yeah.
Okay.
But look, man, I mean, here's the thing, right? So last year we had an off-record interview with one of the animators from Marvel. He won't come on the show because he doesn't want to lose his job. But we were talking in Paris of all places, and yeah, a lot of the stuff that we heard about the issues with Disney and their use of artists, it's all true. I mean, they're working them to the bone. So yeah,
I think they are
this is
slowing down
solution.
the Marvel output now.
I know, but
the thing about the Marvel machine is it takes a long time
yeah,
when you've already got things in production, you know?
see, that's the thing. Like, I was talking to him and he was like, yeah, we only had a couple of, a small window to get all this stuff done. And it's like, it makes sense. I mean, everywhere you're going, even in the industry that I'm in, like, AI is taking over. Like, it's
this was the thing they've announced and are kind of proud of and are spin doctoring it into a way where it's like, oh, but it's all about the hidden identities and how everything's substitute, and it's fully it is 3 degrees off nonsense.
Yeah.
But on top of all of that, it looks awful.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah,
it's just bad.
I like the music, but I didn't. The visuals are
that's because it's skimming. They just kind of fed a machine pictures of Skrulls, Samuel L. Jackson, and then just copied other popular.
They're like quick
thing,
go. They're like go nuts.
So that's it. Like they paid somebody who fed something into a machine a fraction of the price they pay an artist.
Yeah, but I mean,
and got a piece of garbage.
But there is a phrase: you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
and they got what they paid for. And the thing about it is, but at the same time, from their perspective, they're probably like, okay, they're not going to harass us or annoy us or go on strike. And they're like, again, every industry at the moment is doing this. Every industry is doing it. I don't care what business you work in. They're trying to figure a way to AI to either cover cost, cut cost, or solve problems. And this is a problem for Marvel. Now, I haven't seen it. When I watch it after the show, I'm sure it's dreadful. But
I like it.
You liked it?
Oh, you mean the intro? Oh,
the
okay.
Intro.
The intro, not the actual show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense. Like if you can get something done at a fraction of the price, right? And also be able, like, because again, this is the machine. This is the Marvel machine, and it's funny that like. DC gets slack for it, but at least they don't hurt themselves in that way. Marvel do, they're making this massive me house of production, and yeah, like when I was talking to that guy, he was saying pretty much the same thing. Everything we've heard is true, and this is a solution, not a good one, but not a surprising one.
I am hesitant to give Marvel any slack on this, considering.
I'm not.
They are a squillion-dollar company. They can afford to pay somebody.
Well, no, it's not that they can't afford to pay someone. It's that they can't get them to do it fast enough, and I think that's the issue here. They're trying to get it out the door as quickly as possible, which again, I'm not justifying that, but that's how it be. Like from talking to someone who. That's their job. They just want it out the door.
But then, like, if it's a bad business model, you change the business model.
Well, they can't.
Like, you don't go shucks.
Well, I mean, like here's the thing, though. It's working for them.
That's it. You took the words out of my. You took the words out of my head.
Because the impression I'm getting, like, this was a thing that they said. Like this wasn't something people had to like rummage and find. This was like a precedent and said, yeah, no, this was an AI generated image, because that is the hot button issue right now. That. Like, they're very much feeding the idea of any press is good press. Like, especially considering like the Marvel TV shows, not a lot. I haven't heard anybody talk about a Marvel show since Loki, and there's been like 4 of them since. This is the most I've heard people talk about one of these shows. So like they are just getting eyeballs on this thing.
Right.
Kev, what I will say, and I think it's very important to keep this in mind, because there is more context here. In the world of tech in general, or any kind of creative industry that is corporatized to that extent, right? This is a selling point. They see it as a good thing. They 100% think this was an amazing idea. So if that upsets people,
I don't know. It's
don't
in
watch
the
it.
like with
Don't watch
now. I
it.
know this is a niche example, but in the Doctor Who audios, they did an AI generated cover for their big anniversary thing, and everyone complained loud enough that it just vanished one day,
That's my
and they
point.
put up a new one and with
Yeah,
no comment. You know,
that's my
if you
point.
give enough flack, it'll cause a response. Like,
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm saying. If
Hmm.
this is an issue that upsets people, personally, I don't care. I mean, it looks bad no matter what. But if it upsets people, how you get them to change it is you don't buy it, because
Hmm.
or you cause enough flack where they're like, okay, whatever, because like like the whole AI thing, starting with Chat GTP, has changed the world, and I mean. I think AI, for the record, I think AI is a terrible idea. Shut it down now. It's
Yeah,
probably going to kill us all. Um,
AI's actually been making this show for the past 3 months. No one noticed.
no, but I mean, as someone in like, I've had these conversations with people,
Hmm.
and
Real
the
human people.
real human people who make the human decisions, and yeah, I mean, again, to go back to Terminator. I grew up with Terminator. I know how this ends. I grew up with the Matrix, and we're running straight into it. It's just what we're seeing now are these small waves, So yeah, if you don't like it, tell Marvel you don't like it, and they might change it, but they probably won't.
But sort of fast forwarding through that bit, like how do you express your displeasure? Like, like
Yeah,
it's hard to single out one thing on a streaming service. Like,
Yeah, well, look, the thing about it is, it's like eventually, if it's not working for them, if it's not something that people are going to go along with, they will eventually be like, yeah, I don't like this,
Yeah.
or I think stuff work like this for Twitter, where people would tweet about it or whatever. But it's difficult because even if they don't do this, it is eventually going to change the whole world. Like the whole
Yeah,
world
yeah.
will eventually just, it'll be small, like it's small things now, but eventually it'll be like literally driverless cars. Most news outlet websites are using bots to write stuff. It's
Oh yeah, sure. Was it RTE got stung on that recently? Oh no,
yeah.
it was the Irish Times.
Or yeah, well, they're not the only ones. I'm pretty sure
Mm,
RT maybe have done it. I don't know, but
mm,
big corporations, big news outlets have done it because
mm.
the thing about it is, it's like any role that uses data is perfect for AI to
Mm.
just take over and go, yeah, because they can do that and pump it out quicker than a human, even if it's bad, because it's like, yeah, it's content. And I think one thing that we need to change is all content isn't good,
Mm.
quality over quantity, and that is where um Disney
From
is
what
really
I from
falling
what
down.
I understand, particularly with the visual side of it, it is reaching a bit of a nexus point
Yeah, that
where
makes sense.
it's now, because the entire basis of it is that it is skimming and being fed base images to kind of reproduce and skim.
Yeah,
It is now feeding back on itself, where because of the massive influx of AI generated art,
mm,
it has started feeding on a lot more AI generated art on top of
Yes.
actual human art. And of course, that's just a recursive cycle of garbage. So it's actually like on the visual spectrum, it's just getting worse.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, it
yeah,
reminds me of like, do you remember in like the mid 90s when, CGI was created and suddenly you could do these amazing things. And then after a while, CGI just started copying other CGI rather than reality, and everything looked real sludgy. That's the vibe I get off at
you
least the
see,
visually created
the,
AI stuff
the
now.
thing about this stuff is, right, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And until people have that
Well, that's
realization,
that's Jurassic Park there, just circling back
exactly,
on the anecdote. Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, again, I was having this conversation with someone at a wedding a while ago, and I was like, "Hey, all this stuff is, there are dangers." Oh yeah, but we can control it. It's like, nah, no, you can't. And that's where that goes because people just think, oh, well, either it can save money or we can have control of it. But for right now, it's money. It's 100%
Yeah.
just cheaper to just go here. Let's just open up your MacBook there, throw that in, boom, there you go, you have it. And that's what's happening.
I mean, like I know they were kind of trying to spin it, Disney, as being like like thematically it's similar to the thing. They are like accidentally almost correct in a show about, you know, people shapeshifters and all that, having art that looks like it's by a person but not, like, you know,
Yeah.
like if you were to like make, like, say a RoboCop or like a Terminator show, and you just said after everyone had watched it and praised it or whatever, one of these episodes was written by an AI, and you're just like left to play on it, that would be like a thematic, like, but that's not what they're doing here. This is a shallow, like,
Yeah, no, again, they're spin doctoring it.
Yeah.
Even though the reason is it was cheaper. That's
yeah. Or if,
I mean,
say, you
that
went,
is the
one
reason.
of these actors is completely AI computer generated, and you have to figure out which one. Like, there probably could be a way to execute that cleverly, but that's not what's happening here. Like,
the secret is it's the one with 7 fingers.
But, you know, eventually, like, there is the other side of the coin here, and we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the other side of it. It's like, this is the only way it gets better. You know, like, eventually, if just say this is, you know, they push through this or whatever, and eventually you won't even know. Like, another reason that we're probably going to see more of this is a writer strike, where they're like, okay, you want more money? Well, it's like the whole.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
you know,
of course. Yeah.
Like, there are more factors at play, and it does normally come down to money. And if it can be replaced by if it can be like, for example, in the band we use a sample pedal to either do extra parts or whatever, instead of having somebody there. You know, if you can replace it with machines, you don't need a person. You know, and that's just how technology works. That's how this things grow. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Eventually, it will get good to the point where it's like, yeah, you won't even know, and that's pretty dark to think about. But that's look from a tech standpoint, from any look, you name a tech company, any big announcements they're having, it's all about AI. That's just what they're doing. And either comes from, yeah, there's some cool stuff you can do, which you can. Like, I use ChatGPT all the time. It's phenomenal. But you know, so is everyone else. And that's how it learns.
I actually don't know what it is. Sorry.
It's the chat program that basically you can
It mimics
use it
having an actual, like, human conversation.
Oh, no, I'm not engaging one of those. That sounds like Black Mirror.
No, I'll put it to you this way, right? You can use it for anything, but what I use it for is when I'm doing coding projects or when I'm doing any, like, major project. It's like having another one of me to bounce ideas off. That's how good it is.
Oh, that's just Tron Legacy.
Yeah, no, it's like having a personal assistant where you're like, hey, what do you think about this? What would you do this? And then they're like, yeah, I'll do this. And you're like, okay, what about this? And that's how it works.
My favorite analogy I've heard is that the whole thing, these massive word AIs are just word calculators that are just getting more and more inputs.
Yeah,
and that's what happened in the Black Mirror episode. They brought Donald Gleason back from the dead using his Facebook messages and stuff.
But see, that the thing about it is, it's like that already exists. Actually, it's a girlfriend you could buy now, an AI girlfriend. That already.
Didn't
exists.
Sarah Zed do a video on that?
Yeah, that already exists. That we're already there. But, you know, when it comes to creative stuff, like, some AI music is unbelievable. Like, it's incredible.
Oh, I'm buying my cabin in the woods.
Yeah, and this is where we're going, though. That's the thing. It's like, fair enough. And, you know, I know we went on a bit of tangent there, but it's like, this is how it is. This is where it's going. So if you don't like it, eventually it is just going to be, you know, like me earlier on in the show, complaining about the graphics being more important when I like the gameplay. Eventually we all become the old man shouts at the cloud.
Oh, we're there now.
I know. Well, I'm there now, but I mean, you guys are going to join me very soon. So,
oh my god, I feel like I've learned a lot this one. How much time do you have left, Kev? 5 minutes?
About 5? Yeah.
Right, we aren't going to have time for Star Trek or, sadly and appropriately, Cyberpunk.
Oh,
but can we have a quick Morbin time?
Oh yeah, go on.
Just stick with our.
Go on.
That's the only outstanding.
I think we've got it. Yeah, I think we've got a quick. I think we've got some time for everybody's favorite hunter.
Yes, Kev, have you seen this trailer yet?
I have.
Oh my god.
Okay, I have a feeling I know what Dara's going to say, so I'm going to go to you first and let Dara jump in.
Yeah, go on.
So go on, Kev. Give us a rundown of your thoughts on the trailer.
Well, I'm going to say I know
the hunter.
I know absolutely next to nothing about Craven.
How are you? Oh, Sorry.
I don't read comics. You know
There's
this.
not. There's
I know,
not
but
much
I'm still
to
surprised
know.
by
He's
it.
not been in a movie.
I'm still surprised by
I
it.
will know more about Craven because he's going to actually. But it's been a wild year for Craven. It's going to be a wild year for Craven because he's also one of the bad guys in the new Spider-Man game coming out.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
But so I will know more about Craven a year from now. For right now, I know very little. So honestly, I quite like Aaron Taylor Johnson, so it looked fine.
Oh, he also Captain Boomerang was in The Flash as well.
Oh, was
Good
he?
for-
Okay.
Yeah, he
Good
was.
for
Yeah.
him.
He was. Yeah.
No, but like, I mean, if you're curious,
Good
because
for him.
I actually reread some
Sorry.
like Craven stories recently.
Craven
his-
the Hunter, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His whole thing is that like he was like a really famous celebrity hunter, and he got a notion of turning up to America to take down Spider-Man. This is really early, like Spider-Man issue number 10, something early on. And he failed miserably. And it just became his like obsession to beat Spider-Man for the rest of his life. And there are some good stories involving him. Like, you know, there's a lovely one where actually by the Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb, I think, which is all about him and Spider-Man's relationship. There's a lovely one in the 80s where he finally like defeats Spider-Man by eating a bunch of spiders and dressing like there's some good moments, but he's not a very deep character.
No.
He's single-minded and he's scary when written right.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know how he'd helm a film. Do you know what I
Badly.
mean? Like especially a
Apparently,
Spider-Man-less film.
apparently using the sheer force of daddy issues, which
Well, yes.
might I also am I remembering correctly? Wasn't Russell Crowe just in Thor: Love and Thunder as well?
Yes.
Using the same accent. But no,
And he was in the Tom Cruise Mummy, so he's all the universes.
and he was Superman's dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, they
It's
just
like
can't
you
get rid
your
of
Russell Crowe token.
But you know what? I also I did my favorite one of my favorite things that just gives me so much joy is Love and Thunder, where he's just like, relax, baby cakes, and it just kills me.
I know, I love that bit.
I love that movie. I'm sorry.
But
I
like,
think it's
I
brilliant.
mean, I know we're all fans of Morbin Time here, but
Oh,
like
it's Morbin Time.
the whole just from watching the trailer, like it's all about Craven and his brother, and like you know, oh, they're brothers.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Sorry,
they both
sorry,
got the
sorry,
power,
sorry.
and
We have
one's
breaking
weak
news.
and one's
We have
strong.
breaking
It's
news.
not
We have
just-
breaking news. We have breaking
Oh.
news. Batman Beyond movie starring Michael Keaton would have been next if The Flash was successful at the box office. Everybody go see The Flash.
Nah.
Go see The Flash. I need that movie. Just broke by
Do you
comicbook.com.
trust them?
Well, it's
Do
broke
you
here by
trust them to make it?
Hold on. Did you say comicbook.com?
yes.
Dara,
Hold on.
we're hardly a reputable news source. I think we've got an edge on comicbook.com.
Hold on. I'm trying to find the actual quote here, but I just saw it and okay, I don't know where the quote comes from, but that's who's breaking it. So take it up at Ross Bullingame.
I'm disappointed in you.
I just saw it.
You
I just read it.
interrupted Morbin Time for that.
Oh, I want a Batman Beyond movie. I trust them. So if you
can't. They are the most clickbait site on the goddamn.
And
Really?
Screen Rant still exists.
Yeah. Screen transfer. Yeah, comicbook.com is truly terrible.
why would they lie to me?
Because they hate you.
They want your precious clicks for their AI. The AI needs to be fed.
Okay,
Truly, just
Collider's also breaking it.
okay. Well, Collider, I can. Yeah.
IGN.
But hang on, they haven't announced it. They've said if the Flash makes money.
If the
They
Flash
will
had have
fix
made if the Flash had have made
So
money.
this isn't actually an announcement. This is
No.
a bartering chip.
No, this is a requiem for Batman Beyond
What?
because we're not getting it, so we're devastated unless everybody, like gets the Morbin Time energy and goes and sees the Flash.
So what I'm hearing is
Didn't
that
the Morbin Time energy make Morbius flop twice?
So what I'm hearing is that Warner Brothers took a dump in a bed, points at the dump in the bed, and say, "You're the reason." Points at you and says, "You're the reason this happened. Now you don't get your
So
prize."
Yes,
So it's an unannouncement. They're announcing that something isn't happening
yes.
that we
They seem
didn't
to
know
be-
about.
They seem to be doing that a lot recently.
I mean, I love doing that. I always tell my kids, here's the Christmas present I didn't buy you.
To be fair,
we made a whole movie. We put it on a shelf. The movie we did make isn't making money, so we're not going to make the next movie.
What is the opposite of Beyond? Batman
like
Far Away, Batman Minus.
More like
Lads,
Batman Beyond the Grave.
I am just devastated here.
And
Beyond
with that,
devastated.
we are out of time.
Beyond devastated.
All that
Oh, there we go.
There, nowhere to put it.
Well, I have it. It's called Reddit or Twitter.
Please tune in next week where Dara will still be here, still feeling this emotion, more than likely. And Kev, is there anything you want to plug or say before we wrap?
No, you can find me on Twitter at KevTalika94.
Lovely. Dara, I know this is a very emotional time for you, but is there anything you'd like to say or plug?
Yes, there certainly is.
I have to go now.
No,
My planet
needs me. No, in all fairness, everyone go see The Flash because we need Batman Beyond. But Cyberpunk, we'll probably get to it next week. The most disappointing 3 years of my life. There you go.
We'll edit that silence to be longer. add some gust.
What's the audio equivalent of a hay bale? Just rolling.
No, I mean it was.
And speaking of, if you really like us, you can give us money on Patreon.
Yes, so we can go see
Those
The Flash again.
tumbleweeds don't pay for themselves.
And you can find that and all of our other links at nerdtoknowmedia.com. Follow us on all our socials through there as well. And I believe that will be us. Thank you all for listening. We will see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so you're listening to the podcast. You're like, hey, I'm not in Ireland. How do I get in touch? Well, TuneIn has you covered. That's how you can check us out live when we're on the radio. You go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can check out the live streams on nerdtoknowmedia.com or Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get in contact with us, it's very easy. Nerd to Know Media everywhere. Nerd to Know Media on Twitter. Nerd to Know Media Instagram. Nerd to Know Media on Twitch. Nerd to Know Media at gmail.com if you want to reach out via email. Hope to hear from you soon. Check out the Wrestling Rewind here on Phoenix 92.5 FM every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course, over on nerdtoknowmedia.com, the only wrestling podcast by wrestling fans who don't hate wrestling. We'll see you then.
Hey, Dara, what are you doing over there in Ireland? Like with the freaking leprechauns and everything. That's not cool. You should be over here with the cosplayers. At least then you could, like, I don't know, pretend like you got, I don't know, some kind of thing going on. Yeah, with you give me a Brooklyn Rage. With you. Dara. Yeah, Dara. Why ain't you over here with Joey? Anyway, we miss you, dude. So, this is Bill Karibo saying,
I love it.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.